Well, hello, everyone. You might have said it feels good to be back home in the district, in the 7th, and certainly in Somerville, which I love so much. And some of you may have noticed that I was limping a little bit, and that is because you sent me to Washington to kick butt, and I took it very seriously, and I tore my MCL in the process. So, yeah, I know. Really, it's my vanity that's hurting because I miss my stilettos. But please do know that although my limbs are temporarily compromised, my voice is strong as ever. And can you all hear me? Okay, is this better? Can you guys hear me? All right. So, again, I thank you so much for having me. I want to say enthusiastic thanks to the city of Somerville for hosting us. I am so very proud to represent this district. I want to say thank you to the supporters of the Independent Film Festival, the artists, the filmmakers, the attendees. I really do believe that the arts have always really seen or been that critical space, sort of that intersect of both resistance and activism. You know, the arts have such a critical role to play in elevating consciousness, reflecting the consciousness at the time. And so really what you're all doing here this evening is, I think, embodying two important parts of the resistance, and that is to build community, and then the second is to inform joy. And joy is a necessary part of the resistance because we need it to fortify us for the work ahead. And there is much work ahead of us to be done. Now, you know, seeing the trailer for this took me right back to my own campaign. And so for that reason, I decided to tonight wear my resistance wardrobe, which is, you know, Senegalese twist, check. Hoop earrings, check. Bold red lip, check. Leather jacket, check. And then finally, a lapel pin of the one and only, unbought and unbossed, Shirley Chisholm. Now, Shirley Chisholm has been a shero and an influencer in my life, and I certainly don't have the monopoly on that. She is an inspiration to our nation, and it is such a full circle moment that my office, Longworth 1108, was Shirley Chisholm's office. And there's a great story about that, which I'll tell some other time. But, you know, the reason why, there are so many reasons why I look to Shirley for counsel and guidance, and she is my North Star at so many moments of consternation and reflection and conflict. But there's something that she said that I come back to, that I revisit the most, and that is she was asked how she wanted to be remembered. And she said she did not want to be remembered as the first black woman elected to the House of Representatives, which she was, nor did she want to be remembered as the first black woman to pursue the U.S. presidency, which she was. She simply wanted to be remembered as a black woman who dared to be herself. The film that you are about to see is the story of 4 powerful women warriors who dared to be themselves. And in doing that, I believe, are creating space for other women to do the same. A bartender, a nurse, a grieving mother, a coal miner's daughter, all who took the brave leap of faith to challenge incumbents, to challenge the status quo and business as usual in Washington, and to run for office to represent their communities. 2018 was a critical election for this nation. And as I campaigned here in the Massachusetts 7th, I would often share with friends and neighbors that in my view, this election cycle represented really a fight for the soul of our democracy, and a critical choice between hope and fear. Every day we are facing a White House which denies science, vilifies our immigrant neighbors, and traffics hate and division. But in the face of those threats to our humanity, I believe that Americans across the country, and certainly right here in the 7th, the district that I'm so proud to represent, and it has the largest concentration of activists, agitators, artists, and disruptors in the nation, that we make the intentional choice to both resist and to progress. I believed then and now vehemently that we can stand up and challenge the status quo. The district we sit in today, the district I am so proud and humbled to serve as a congresswoman, is 53% people of color and 40% foreign-born. We are a district that embraces our diversity, our innovation. We leverage the insight and the experience we bring from our disparate walks of life, and we are stronger because of it. I ran because this is the most diverse district, and it is the most unequal. And these entrenched inequities and disparities are only worsening and being exacerbated under this administration. But they didn't begin under this administration. So, as disheartened as I am by these inequities and these disparities, we're in a single bus ride in a 3-mile radius from Cambridge to Roxbury, life expectancy drops by 30 years, and the median household income by $50,000. I'm also keenly aware that in the 7th, we boast the assets and the innovation, if leveraged boldly enough, with the political will and the courage to address these inequities and these disparities. Don't forget, the seat I hold today is a seat that was previously held by JFK. A seat, in my opinion, where we must be bold, unencumbered, and innovative. A seat where we can lead. We are not beholden to corporate interests, but to each of those who put their hope and faith in me daily to represent them in the corridors of power and around policy and decision-making tables. People ask me, sometimes by the hour, now that I'm 100 days in, if I am disillusioned. I simply reply that apathy is not a luxury we can afford. And cynicism is not a luxury that we can afford. I've made the decision to stay intentionally uncomfortable, to be kept awake at night, thinking about women like the domestic worker Adriana I met, whose employer demanded that she clean his home naked so he would have the assurances that she was not stealing from him. I stay intentionally uncomfortable and lie awake at night thinking of the mother, Jocelyn, I met, who has 2 daughters with type 1 diabetes and went to wake her 16-year-old for school only to find that she had died because she had been rationing her insulin because she couldn't afford it. I try to stay in close proximity to the hurt so that I never grow complacent, so that I never lose the plot, and the plot is the people. And it is for that reason I won't be apathetic, I won't be cynical, I won't shrink, I won't play small. I am here to shake the table. But I don't do that work alone. I would argue that this is the role that women have been playing in society for a long time. And ultimately, as I close, I'll just say, this is the true power of leadership parity. It is not for contrived moments of kumbaya so we can say how progressive and inclusive we are. It is the acknowledgement that when you have a diversity of perspective, opinion, and thought around the table, different questions get asked. Hard questions are asked. The air shifts. Women have been the truth tellers, the justice seekers, the disruptors, the preservers of democracy, and that is certainly all represented in the stories of these 4 women that you are about to see. And they keep me emboldened in this work. Every day I'm grateful for the women and a few good men of the 116th Congress that are my partners in this work. It is a transformation. It is a transformational Congress, one that is this diverse and this representative. Now, we still have a lot more work to do to realize parity, but you can feel the earth shifting beneath our feet and concrete ceilings breaking all over. And for each of us who has the honor to serve in this Congress, it took hundreds of women before us to raise their hands and to try to knock down the house. I'm so proud to serve with my dear sister in service, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is a part of this film, who reminds us that this fight has never been about the left and the right, but about the top and the bottom. And to these women who dared to be themselves, who ran, featured in this film, a coal miner's daughter in West Virginia, a grieving mother in Nevada, a registered nurse in Missouri, everyday Americans deserve to be represented by everyday Americans. And the women filmmakers who captured this beautiful moment in transformation on film are just as much a part of this movement too. These times demand that each of us ask, how can I lend my time, my skills, and my voice to do more? I thank you all for your intentionality in being here this evening. I'm so grateful to be here in community with you. I will be back, and please do enjoy the film.